Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're looking at a Pikachu and Zekrom tag team deck in Expanded because Ontario is on its way, so I will be turning my attention to Expanded for a couple of weeks. But yeah, Pikachu and Zekrom seems to be an outlier. Max Elixir is a huge card for this deck, just making you get full blitz that much more often makes this deck even more of a threat. You also gain the nice lifeline of Flash Energy to protect yourself against some scary fighting stuff that is around. So overall, this deck just seems to be better in Expanded. You gain Trainers Mail and Max Elixir, and those are just big cards for consistency and getting you going. And this deck can capitalize and snowball, as we all know, too well already in Standard. So just making it happen more often is a very powerful prospect. So let's jump into the deck list. Pikachu and Zekrom tag team is the star of the show here. Full blitzing. Once you get this off, usually on turn 1 or 2, taking prizes and going into your deck and grabbing 3 more lightnings and putting them onto one of your dudes. Sometimes if you feel safe, you'll smash them all onto the Pikachu and Zekrom himself, so you can tag bolt the future turns. But this is also great for powering up Zeraoras or other PikaRoms that are on your bench, so do bear that in mind. It's just such a great accelerator, and it sets you up for the rest of the game, basically, from one full blitz, which is just pretty nuts. Tag Bolt GX is an insane GX attack, doing 200 to the opponent's active for 3 lightning, and for 3 extra lightning energy attached, you do 170 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now, I imagine there's got to be a world where everyone is playing Mr. Mime in Expanded, because there's this GX attack, and there's also Magikarp Warlord from Archie-Stoice, so I have to think there's going to be Mr. Mime in the meta. Like, it just seems like a no-brainer to me. But as long as there's not Mr. Mime, you do nuts things with this snipe, so bear that in mind. From there, we have 2 Zeraora-GX. Thunderclap Zone is obviously a big ability for us that we've seen in Standard. Obviously, it's great in Expanded as well. So that we can just use those same energy switch shenanigans no matter what we start with. We can just slap energy on, move it to the back, energy switch it back to our PikaRom, and we're ready to roll. Plasma Fists is also a nice backup attack for us on just a GX rather than a 3-prize Pokemon. And it can usually take knockouts thanks to Electropower and Choice Band buffs. Full Voltage is a GX attack option if you are up against some decks trying to remove all of our energy cards. But obviously, Lusamine is banned from Expanded, so there's not too much fear of those sorts of stalling Lusamine looping decks anymore, outside of maybe like a Sable Garb type approach. But even that doesn't sound too great to me. From there, the rest of our Pokemon are just trying to get us lots of cards outside of this Tapu Koko Prism Star. Dance of the Ancients is a no-brainer. We have synergy with Acrobike, Ultra Ball, and Comp Search to get lightnings in our discard pile. Dancing it all onto our dudes is going to be a big deal. Obviously, this card is also our only non-GX attacking presence outside of Oranguru, and this can actually one-shot Hoopers, so bear that in mind. We have Elixirs, we can Mach Bolt through Hoopers. We otherwise have no option to get through those Pokemon, so this is our non-GX attacker if we need to. But predominantly, he's here for the big ability to get more energies into play. So yeah, 2 Let Loose, it's a big part of this deck. As we've seen in Standard, people try and go turbo and then let loose the opponent to a low hand size. We're doing the same thing here, hopefully forcing more Leles and Shaymins onto your opponent's board. If not, they're just going to lose the game anyway, so that's really nice for us. And when we're going first, you want to let loose anyway, because you can't get the full blitz pressure, but you'll just try and lower your opponent's hand size and make them have weaker plays. And put them on the clock with the full blitz and stuff. That's pretty much how this deck tries to function. Then the one-ofs of Lele and Shaymin. Wonder Tag, obviously a big deal for getting our key supporters out. Shaymin helping us draw more cards as well in the opening turns. And then the Oranguru in here for instructing to give us some safeguard against N, which pretty much everyone has to do because this deck is the most aggressive in this format, in my opinion. So, yep. And Psychic is another non-GX attacking option that we have if we really need to. Onto the item cards, I've tried to streamline it as much as possible. 1 Comp Search to just grab combo pieces. I think it's so important when this deck wants to just hit the combo so early. 2 copies of VS Seeker. I think the game doesn't go that long that you need to play many more copies, but this is still great at picking out some extra Guzmas or draw support here and there. 2 copies of Nest Ball, obviously fantastic for getting PikaRom in the first place, but also the likes of Zeraora, the Prism, and the Oranguru. Then we're going to have 3 copies of Energy Switch, such a big card for helping us move into our PikaRom in the first place, alongside Thunderclap Zone. And if we do full blitz onto things that aren't the PikaRom itself, you can combine it with, you know, Elixirs and Energy Switches later down the line to go from 3 to 6 with Tag Bolt. So that's always something that we have in the back of our minds. 3 copies of Electropower, obviously big damage buffing. It's going to be huge to make sure that we can reach into other big GXs and tag teams. Obviously a big mirror card. Overall, I don't think we need 4. We have so much draw that we'll find these in general, and 3 is still a reasonably high count. Then we have 4s of all the important stuff. 4 Elixir, obviously getting extra energies into play is huge for this deck. 4 Trainers Mail and 4 Acrobike being our sort of turbo cards to get us into our combo pieces, as well as Ultra Ball that's usually just being used to discard lightning energies to then find us cards that can draw us more cards, basically. 1 Thunder Mountain Prism Star is a no-brainer for reducing our attack cost. 2 Choice Band combined with these Electro Powers to give us extra damage output. And then we have the 1 copy of Sycamore for some nice dump and draw. 1 N for disrupting opponents, especially in mirror matches. This is relevant. And then 2 copies of Lily. I prefer having 2 copies of Lily over Sycamore because so often you'll be holding on to a piece here or there, like Energy Switch, for example, or just energies in hand. So you're just getting the same amount of cards that Sycamore would do, but you're not dumping everything all at once, which is really nice. And our turn 1 is the main thing that we're concerned about here, so Lily is great. And 2 copies of Guzma for picking off important GXs from the opponent's side of the field and any threats that they are trying to power up. Obviously, that's going to be a big deal for us. Then we have 2 copies of Flash Energy. As I said at the start of the video, it's a saving grace against fighting types because we remove our own weakness from us, which is huge against, you know, people just trying to tech in Baby Buzzwole or fighting support into Zoroark decks, etc. Or just regular fighting decks all over the place because they, of course, have like Karina engines. They can try and be powerful. So Flash Energy is going to give us some hope of beating those fighting decks, which is very awesome. And then still retaining a very high basic energy count in 11 Lightning. We want to have them in the hand to attach and discard so that we can get Dance of the Ancients rolling. We want to have them in deck for our Elixirs and our Full Blitzes. So overall, we just want to see these all the time. So I like having a very high count in general. So other cards you could be considering. Marshadow GX is one thing I've definitely given some thought to. It's a nice mirror match card. It's nice against Zoroark as well. Definitely something that's on my radar. It's, again, just another 2 prize Pokemon rather than 3 prizes. So if you can Full Blitz onto this guy, you can have a reasonable mirror match kind of like tech card, which is definitely something worth noting. Not too many other Pokemon that I've thought about. There is, you know, the likes of Jirachi and Zapdos and stuff that we've seen from the other builds. There's obviously Koko GX as well that you could consider, again, kind of like a mirror match style card. Also good against Archiestoise, obviously. Tapu Thunder GXing through stuff is obviously going to be a great way for you to make a comeback, but usually I just want to have the plan A working a lot more often. And I think because we have Elixirs in this deck, we can get attackers out of nowhere much more than in Standard. So in Standard, you sort of like, if you're the first person to lose a PikaRom, you just like lose if you don't use Tapu Thunder. Here we have Elixirs to sort of like rebuild the hand and fight back with our own PikaRoms. So I don't think the Tapu Koko GX is absolutely mandatory, especially because we fill our bench so much more with the Shaymin and the Oranguru and everything else now. So there's not always space for you to do your Koko GX plays too efficiently regardless. And I just like having more speedy cards in general. Acerola is a card that I've definitely thought about. If you are tanking hits and we have Versus Seeker, just having 1 copy makes a lot more sense. I would want to have a higher VS Seeker count if I was going to play Acerola, and that digs into like an Acrobite count and stuff like that. Also a few stadiums that have come to mind. Aether Paradise again, just for tanking, but also Silent Lab was one that I was thinking about. Pretty nice for mirror match situations, shutting off Mr. Mime as well. A big deal so that you can make sure your tag bot is doing a lot of damage. It's a stadium that I've actually thought about playing in here as like a 2 count. It does just have hideous anti-synergy with your own basics, but it just shuts off some big stuff right now. And it combines, like, once you've used Let Loose, if you can hit the stadium after that, you can just really make your opponent have no answer, and you just win the game straight up. So I can definitely see maybe some people trying to tech in Silent Lab into this deck to be just even more disruptive and punishing to other people. But for now, I'm just going to give it the simple approach, and we'll jump into the ladder and have some games. With expanded PikaRom, I do think it's very strong and solid. Let Loosing people is its own win condition so often, and although there are threats out there like fighting types, like Trash Launch Garbodor, seeing so we play so many item cards, I think just simply Let Loosing and putting them on like a 2-turn clock for the entire game is just a great way to get a lot of wins, and it seems to be doing very well for me so far. So it seems to be a really, really powerful deck that just has answers to a lot of things. We could even try adding in our own Mr. Mime for mirror matches as well. I should have mentioned that earlier because so often we put down our own Leles and Shaymins and such. So Mr. Mime might be relevant just for mirror matches. It probably should be in my deck in all honesty, but I just want to show off the simple build, I guess. And we'll see if Mr. Mime is going to be relevant. It's pretty good against Warlord stuff as well, so just a good card right now in Expanded. Feels like Zoroark players will have to be playing it. Alright, we start our Shaymin, but at least we have Comp Search. We do have quite a lot of ugly starters. You don't want to lead your Leles, your Shaymins, your Marshadows. You only really want to lead your Lightning stuff, basically. Or Oranguru, that's not the worst. So we have like 7 good leads. Yeah, 7 good leads. The Koko Prism Star's not the best lead, but it's just not the worst, because you always want it on the board anyway. It's just the Shaymin, the Leles, and the Marshadow are like always really useful. I'm going to fire off the Trainers Mail before the Comp Search here, because it could dictate what we take. And seeing as though we see a supporter card, I'm going to take the Acrobike here. Dig a little bit deeper before the Comp Search. And there's a supporter, so now we can Comp Search for something else. We already have Lightning Energies hitting the discard pile freely for our Dance of the Ancients, which is in deck. We have our Oranguru, we have both our Let Loose, we have both our Zeraora, so it looks like all of our Pokemon are here. We've prized an Electropower, which is fine. An Energy Switch is in our hand. We've prized an Elixir. Prized 1 Trainer's Mail. Prized a Lily, which is fine. We have a Choice Band in hand. 6 energy remaining in the deck isn't a huge amount. So that's something we have to bear in mind. But regardless, we can kick off here with some attachments. Because we're going first, I feel like attaching to the bench rather than to the active and going for like E-switch plays doesn't really make sense to me. We do pick up the Nespal, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab Koko Prism because we already have energy in our discard pile. We can throw this down and we can just let loose. We're always wanting to let loose the opponent, no matter what they have. And also, our hand is just energies anyway. We just want to lower their hand size in the opening turns in general. And we can go for this. I feel like dancing early, just because Expanded such a fast format, they can punish things so quickly. I just want to get it done. Do I want to Acrobike and dig for any other cards? Don't think I do. I think we can just pass it. Because I really don't know what they're playing just yet, outside of an Alolan Grimer. Maybe a Garb Muck deck, something like that. Professor's Letter. Interesting. Cynthia Letter. Ultra Ball. What's going on here then? What are we up against? I, for one, can't tell you. Well, we're up against a Concede. Okay, very good. Well, this deck does set its stall out early, so it's not too surprising that we might see a good amount of Concedes, to be honest, if we pop off. And, you know, the list is so likely to pop off because we're very, very consistent. A few things, actually, there were some more cards that I could have discussed. Things like Battle Compressor in the list. I don't really like it too much because I started off with Battle Compressor and I was like, what do I actually want to get rid of here? I don't want to get rid of too many Lightnings because I still have all the Elixirs that are big outs. So I prefer just having Acrobikes to dig further and just have higher physical support count than just having like 4 supporters and compressors and higher VSC count. So that's why we've not gone down that route. Okay. This guy might be playing Mirror. I saw Colorless, Psychic, Lightning. Also saw Dark though. Maybe he's playing Absol. We'll see. We win the flip, which is huge. In Expanded, obviously. Not quite as huge as it used to be, with Thingy being banned. But still pretty big, because we can let loose. This hand would have been absolutely insane, but oh well. Comp Search is just a bananas card when you're a combo deck. Could think about it being a dowsing mech just for extra, like, Elixirs or Electropowers or E-switches, but not for me. I just want to hit the combo, and this guy helps you hit combo. Opponent's taking their time. Selecting their starting Pokemon. It would be great if he decided. There we go. He gets a free card that we're hopefully going to Marshadow away anyway. We get back into Comp Search, which is nice, but we lead Let Loose. Again, one of our bad starts. 4 bad, 7 good. Oh well, we play 2 Let Loose for times like this. And I see Koko and Mewtwo. Interesting. How do I want to start this turn? I think we already have VS Seeker. I think we start with the Acrobike. I'll take the Monkey. So I think I'm just not playing Trainers Mail here. I'm just going Ultra Ball, Comp Search, and grabbing Lily for 8. Alternatively, I could play the Trainer's Mail to then get 1 Instruct Draw, or 2 Instruct Draws if I play the Electropower also. I don't hate it. I would still Ultra Ball first though, no matter what. And we've actually prized our Lele. So in this case, I think we Ultra Ball out a PikaRom. And then Comp Search just for a Lily. I could still Trainer's Mail. The thing is, the things I would want to discard are exactly Lightning Energies, and if I draw into like a Prism Star card or a Marshadow, I would hate to have to Comp Search it away. What's the upside of using the Trainer's Mail first? It could dig out like an Elixir or a Ball Search. The upside is pretty big. I think I'll hold this in hand and then play the Trainer's Mail first to give us that sort of safeguard. Yeah, Elixir's worth. That's pretty insane. I think I won't play the Electropower because I think because we're committing to Instruct discard anyway, I just don't want to draw like more cards. Choice Band's not the best discard, but it's fine. We can Lily for 8 now. Right, we get a big Ultra Ball. We'll definitely be playing this down. We have not manually attached just yet, so I'm going to Acrobike before the Ultra Ball. We could still Let Loose his hand. Do I want to toss another PikaRom? Not really. Get rid of the Sycamore. Actually, I think we are getting rid of the PikaRom anyway, because we're letting loose this turn. I could just get rid of another Electropower. Getting rid of 2 Electropower early is kind of yikes. That's fine. I see non-GXs, so should be fine. So we'll grab this, we'll play this, play this, do this. Do this, do this. Given that low hand size, we have 3 energy, so we're so likely to attack turn 2 already. Nothing else we need to play here. We'll just pass. Good pressure turn 1. Our board's a little ugly. We could have had more energy dropped on board. Maybe I should have just discarded 2 lightnings and guaranteed the 2 attachments from the Koko Prism. Maybe that was best. We'll see. See how we go. Basically, we could have had an extra lightning energy if we let loose into 1, but there was a chance we didn't let loose into 1, and then we'd have 2 and 1, and it would be more ugly for us to try and retreat this guy next turn and get an attack off. So there were downsides, not just pure upside. Torch Ball away, both lightnings. Let's see what the opponent's going to come up with here. They might be playing a Persimmon deck, which would be ugly for us if they have Koko. I don't know. I don't really know what they're going to be playing. See a Cynthia turn 1 and then a Max Elixir that whiffs. They're playing their own lightning energies. Interesting. think we're just full blitzing. And we go to the back. Could have played more cards, but I don't really know what he's playing yet. So I don't really know what I need to dig for. If he does get like a Tapu Koko GX attack off on us, we have like a guaranteed response. I could Ultra Ball for Shaymin as well, and then we have Shaymin, Energy Switch, and Trainers Mail left in our hand to dig towards Tagbolt GX. But again, opponent just not able to deal with the pressure there. It feels like the deck is such a big snowball deck that we just instantly win. So far we've come up against an Alolan Grimer and then some non-GX sort of box, but we're just being efficient and doing our own thing. I think demonstrating our turn ones is just as relevant as you know, whatever opponent is up, like whatever we're up against, because we're so focused on our turn one. We're trying to get combo and let loose. Like that's like the two things that this deck tries to do every game one, and it doesn't really matter what you're up against. That's going to be good against everything. So just seeing that in play so far has just been good to see, even though we're up against, you know, questionable decks. I think the only times you have to tread carefully is when you see things like Trubbishes, because you don't want to play into Trashalanche too much. And when you see fighting stuff, you want to try and find your flash energies. But really, other than that, it's just plan A all the way. So we're going second here, and they have a Pikachu and Zekrom deck box. We have one of our 7 ideal starters. We have a reasonable hand. They have Gengar and Mimikyu Tag Team GX in their active position. And they're going to kick off with an Acrobike. They're playing Gengar Vileplume. Interesting. And they play Silent Lab. Yikes. Okay. So one thing we do is only play one Counter Stadium. Is it in deck? Yes. Fortunately. Let's grab a PikaRom and start Max Elixir into this bad boy. I think we want to Acrobike after the Elixir, because if we pull a Lightning out of our deck, the Acrobike gets stronger. We'll play this. Comp Search is nuts. That can get us the Counter Stadium that we need off this Lily. So I stupidly attached active. We would have actually had it if I had attached... sorry, I didn't attach active. Now we've got to keep digging. Oh, I actually have the Koko... No, we're getting the Stadium anyway. And I have the Koko Prism. So yeah, we're there. We go like this. So that's 3 energy. I think I'll be discarding this and Guzma. Oh no, because I need to get the I still need the Zeraora. One, two, this 1, 2. So that's Stadium Zeraora. And then we can instruct after. Comp Search OP. That's with us messing up an attachment this turn as well. Instruct for 3. VS Seeker sounds good. We'll proactively VS Seeker because we're up against an item locking deck. There's no way yeah, there's no way. There's no way. He's not going to play Horror House and Toad, right? Oh, we may as well. So that's a full blitz turn 1. I think we're just putting it to the back. Not bad, not bad. That's within error as well. But I think we need this stadium regardless, so I guess it's fine. They're going to go Energy Floatstone. So we get to draw a good amount of cards anyway, but yeah, they just scoop. So far, 3 concedes after us doing everything we wanted. That was one game where we didn't let loose, but his turn 1 was so bad that we didn't actually have to do that game, so... And we actually had more options to draw more cards that turn. We could have not Ultra Balled for the Zeraora. We could have Ultra Balled for Shaymin and dug harder to try and find Zeraora. But yeah, that's just about it. We're up against Azul. Oh boy. Let's see if he's playing PikaRom. I think he did a video on PikaRom already. Our hand's actually pretty bad. We just have 1 Acrobike. That's it. Giving us mulligans is nice. We're going second anyway, so we're probably just getting let loose regardless. It would just be nice to... Yeah, we're up against Mirror. He's got a good deck. Last time I saw Azul's list, it was playing Sudowoodo and it was playing Compressors over Acrobikes. 2 mulligans. Yep. Mirror. Mirror going second is always yikes because he can just let loose. Oh, his hand's trash. Our hand is nuts. Do I want to... Let me think about this. We'll play our Acros first. Okay, that's nuts. 1, So I can go Elixir, attach to... I can't energy switch this card, so I guess I'm getting rid of the Flash Energy and the Lightning Energy, and then playing Elixir, attach to active, Ultra Ball, away, Trainers Mail and Acrobike, which seems really weird. I mean, we're always getting a card from Acrobike, and if this is the Lightning Energy in here, we're pretty happy. We have to take this. So now I need to Ultra Ball. We still have our Shaymin, which is fine. So I grab this, then I Ultra Ball away this. Elixir, bench, and Shaymin for 6. Really weird hand. It was filled with too many good cards. We still have our manual attachment this turn, which can go active. Do I want to Nest Ball for Monkey here? We are yet to support her. I think Monkey's fine to pull out. Ultra Ball can get us let loose if I want to, but I think I want to power up another PikaRom. It could lower our hand size. It could get rid of Electropower Zeraora. Or I could just take the thing just to get rid of a PikaRom anyway. Again, we're just trying to improve our Instruct at this point. Yeah, let's do it. damage buff one time. There's a big N. No stadium. Feels bad, man. Oh, sorry, no choice band. We're hitting it for 210. Not a bad turn one, though. Let loose. Choice band is the dream. Oh! Holy. Holy. Jesus. Well, that's one way to play this game. Jeez. That's nuts. Wow, you have a good deck. Expanded's dumb. Expanded is so dumb. What the? 8 energy turn 1 whilst let loosing. Hello? Hello. Ultra Ball for stuff. Gets a Shaymin. Guzma's game for us if he puts down a Shaymin. Only if he also keeps this on board, which there's not real much reason why he would, but I mean, he has a million actions. We should sit back. His turn could be as crazy as ours. I have 13 cards left in my deck. That's just stupid, right? There's Electropower number 2 for him. Max Elixir. Max Elixir. Yep, so he's getting a decent response by the looks of things. He still has his supporter for turn. I swear we tossed a Guzma. Did I toss a Lily instead? I can't remember. I think there was an opportunity for us to toss a Guzma at some point. He plays switches in his build. Electropower number 2, and then let loose. Guzma wasn't game for us. We also need to have energy, an energy switch. He Trainers Mails. Let's see if he can get the last damage buff. He still has his supporter for turn. Yeah, grabs Lily. There's the 3rd damage buff. Oh, he plays Silent Lab. Nice, nice, nice. I dig it. He's moved on. He's evolved. Ultra Ball. Grabs another PikaRom. You can get that powered up if he has enough energy left. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'll have plenty. Nice response. 2, 3, 4, 5. So We're one damage buff away, but we have exactly one choice band left in our deck. I need to draw... No, we can't full bits for game. Oh, sorry, we can't tag bolt for 3 prizes to end the game. With a Guzma play either. He is, again, 2 damage buffs away himself from winning. He's played 3 Electropower, still has 2 bans available. So he needs to hit both. He just the thing is, he has a bigger hand size than me right now. If I promote active and just swing, we're definitely in trouble. Ugh, I don't like this. Doesn't feel comfortable. 2 energy switches and attacking with Zeraora. How does that sound? Taking 2 prizes, protecting our PikaRom in the back. He could still tag bot and take 4 prizes. No, it's better for us to stay active, actually. Okay. We can definitely lose here, which kind of sucks. Which feels weird after how insane our first turn was. There's nothing I'm missing, right? If I take a Guzma knockout, he just needs an energy to tag bolt through us for game. So he's like energy Guzma away or 2 damage buffs away. Nothing we can do. GG's. We actually wouldn't have been able to instruct many cards because we drew into 2 Guzmas, which is dumb. He's going to Ultra Ball some stuff. Maybe he has Trainers Mails that he's trying to use. Something of that nature. Big chorus. He's a damage away from taking 5 prizes next. So he needs to chorus into band. Yeah. Whew. Got that scramble switch though. Yeah, he got us. That's pretty crazy. Pow. Not bad, not bad. It was all showcasing some pretty spicy stuff. The Silent Lab, the Scramble Switch, those are pretty poggers. Scramble Switch, yo, that's wild. Alrighty, that was a really interesting final game. I'm glad we got to have that on show there. Yeah, good fun. PikaRom's busted. Still lots of ways we can try and play this. Scramble Switch could be hype for sure. And so too could Silent Lab. And I'm glad Azul's testing out those things because those are the things I was thinking of. So, busted. Yeah, PikaRom's pretty good. All sorts of different renditions to come. So, hope you did enjoy the video, guys. Let me know how you want to build PikaRom. And I'll see you in another video soon. Cheers.